Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening, and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan, and if you were thinking I wasn't scheduling a stream tonight, that would be correct, but Trina's stream wrapped up early, so therefore, I still started later than the YouTube start time, because I had to pick a time and then come all the way downstairs and do everything on the way, including put a hoodie on, because it's 61.5 degrees Fahrenheit down here in the basement, so a bit chilly. And you want me to actually be able to stream until at least my normal end time, and probably a few minutes later, because you all are such great, awesome people in the chat. And that would be, we have K-Mac Vintage, we have Gut Bomb, we have Scarlet the Four-Eyed Cuda, we have MMU Man, we have Sadmac 356, we have Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, we have Joe's Computer Museum. We have Kibbs with Retro. Jack68K. Trina's Technobabble. And we have Jesse, i38386SX, which I'm going to point out. If you would like to see Apple's Rhapsody preview running on a compact LTE laptop, go check out i8386SX's latest video. We have DJ Craze. Welcome, everybody! And I have an eBay purchase, which I know is completely blown out, thanks to the light behind me that, I think my camera is, I don't know, I gave up trying to get my camera to be level and whatnot. Maybe I need to, do something about the light behind me. Oh, we have Will Jr. 880, yes. Oh, channel announcements. Let me not forget. I found my SD card. Yes, I thought I'd lost it. I found the SD card. It was in the bottom of my Prime wardrobe box. Luckily, I noticed it before I packed it all up and returned it. I think I set it on top of one of the items in the Prime Wardrobe box because I had just received it, like, the day before I lost the SD card. I think I set it on top of one of the items because I thought, well, I will definitely see it here because I got to try these items on. And I think what I ended up doing was knocked it off into the bottom of the box and, of course, did not see it. Yeah, the SD card was in the bottom of my Prime Wardrobe box. So, I spotted it. Actually, I spotted it last night. Coming down the stairs, because I had the box at the bottom of the stairs, because it was to remind me to pack it and ship it. But I hadn't put anything back in the box. And lo and behold, the SD card was, like, right there. That's despite having walked past it. Anyways. So that's where it was. You have a coffee goal for the, to get the Z440 there set up and in place of my 420, my Z420, HP Z420. I know how some of y'all think. Anyways, there we go. It's the Z440. I am waiting for a part from eBay that I hopefully will not regret, because apparently when I ordered parts for it the other day, I misread the documentation, or the documentation is wrong. So, I thought I did not need the memory cooling fan for it. I bought a lot of 9. Let's see. Oh, I must have... No. Oh, thank you to Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Yay! Yes, I had bought a lot of DDR3 memory modules that I think were pulled from servers much like that one on eBay. They were 8 gigabytes each. The same model that was in the 440. Loaded it all up, and then realized that every time you boot the computer, it stops with a fan error because the memory fan's not installed. So I had to order one on eBay, and, well, it's coming. So, I thought the documentation said that you only needed the memory fan if you were using DIMMs larger than 8 gigabytes. I think what the documentation probably said was either if you're using DIMMs greater than or equal to 8 gigabytes, and they might have forgotten some words, or I might have missed the part that it might have said that if you use DIMMs larger than 8 gigabytes, or maybe if you have all the DIMMs installed. But anyways, yeah, I can't have it stopping with a fan error every time you turn it on, so. Actually, Gut Bomb, Prime Wardrobe is where you can order up to 6 clothing items from Amazon and get the chance to try them on before you pay for them. But unlike clothing subscription boxes, you get to pick what they ship you. Not everything's eligible, though. So, well, actually, Kibbs, that's a great idea, except it's a proprietary connector. If I ever need server-grade 16 gigabyte DDR3 modules, I have a lot of them. Don't tempt me, Jesse. Because actually, I was going to, like, order a whole bunch of 16 gig modules. And then I read that detail and thought, oh, well, I'll just order 8 gigabyte ones like were already on the board so that I don't have to buy as many. But I ended up finding a lot of 9 cheaper than I could have bought 6 to fill the unused memory slots. So, but yeah, don't tempt me about 16 gigabyte modules. I very much had thought about populating it. Oh, thanks, Adam McGee. Like 160 sticks. Well, with the memory fan, I could do it. But yeah, Kibbs, the connector on the Z440 for the memory fan is like some 8-pin connector that I think is unnecessarily overcomplicated because it's making sure that both fans are spinning at the correct RPM. Because I guarantee you it's probably not varying the RPM of those fans, because I sure thought I saw 2 wires going to each fan on the picture, but alright, so what I got here, I got the 2CI logic board here. It has a battery in it that is not an old battery, but I will remove it because I don't want to break the internet. I mean, I always say that a lot of things will break the internet, but I haven't broken the internet yet, so I guess there's still time for me to break the internet. Yeah, it's so that you have to use their fan. And inevitably order their service part for their fan, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I'm sure someone probably makes an adapter to use another fan, but the thing is, it's a fan and it's mounted on a cooling shroud. There's not like a spot in the case really to mount the fan over the memory. Yeah, HP and their proprietary shenanigans, but what can I say? The cost of entry for a workstation that has like 40 PCI Express slots, a used Z440 workstation is actually a pretty good deal. So, oh, good night, MMU man. So, if just do the number cards I have in this computer, PCI Express cards. because I got a video card that it needs a 16 channel slot. And I got the NVMe drive that's in a 4-channel slot. And we've got, oh, thanks, Jack 68K. And then I got the one video capture card that needs an X4 slot. And I got one that needs an X1 slot. And just to get enough slots for everything. So I'm actually thinking of getting a 1080 card for it. So I could stream in H265 instead of H264. Which is probably unnecessary for computer streaming, but I'm a geek and I like the cool video codecs. I mean, theoretically, it would improve video quality. It would let me either have better video quality for the same bit rate, or could theoretically bump the bit rate going down slightly with no appreciable loss of quality for when Comcast decides to dump my bandwidth on the floor. Although I think they fixed the problem in our neighborhood. Because Tuesday, I don't think I saw the bandwidth drop. Or if it did, it might have just done it once. Anyway, so on eBay, I got a new headphone jack. I thought about repairing the one that was on this board, but I realized for the price that they wanted for it, I decided, that's cool. I can just pull the... Adam says he's going to stream at 320 by 240 from a new bus capture card. Gutbomb says I could save some money and get a 1060 for H265. Yes, I could. I could also be doing something weird and wacky, like maybe actually buying the 1080 for my computer upstairs so that I can pull its I think it's got a 1060 or it might be a 1050. It's got a 1050 or a 1060 and put that down here because the computer upstairs actually does video rendering and it would be the computer I would play games on if I ever felt like playing games. So I kind of actually was thinking of getting the used 1080 for that computer and putting its hand-me-down down here because whatever it has something that'll do H265. Kib says put a Trident GPU into it. I don't think OBS could handle the power of the Trident video card, Kibbs. I think that would break the intranet. It might also break the internet, or at least when I get reddited or /dotted, but I'm pretty sure it would break my intranet. Alright. Oh. Jack68K says, too bad we don't have a solution for watching your stream on Mac OS 8. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gutbomb says 1080 is NVIDIA's card with the best longevity. They're never going to build another card like that. Yeah, and I found a eBay seller that was selling one for like... I think I should probably go ahead and just do the checkout before I mention the price. Or at least have it in my cart waiting to check it out. Oh, thank you, K-Mac Vintage. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to add this 1080 to my cart now. And I'm just going to go ahead and check it out while I wait for my desolder station to warm up. And let's see here. As much as I would like to go pick it up in Falls Church, Virginia, I think I'll let them ship it to me. And let's see here. And there we go. And almost done here, and I think it's almost warmed up. Yeah, all right. I think I'm going to complete eBay checkout about the time the temperature's warmed up. All right, there we go. Done. GTX 1080. I could have gotten one cheaper if I'd wanted to risk it, but the one I'd been watching the Buy It Now auction for a while. Seller was selling it for $109.99, tested working. So that was like, I think at least when I last searched it, that was the cheapest card that was not as is. That also was not like obvious a X mining card. It's just the 1080. But it'll be good. Yeah, the 1080 Ti's go for a little bit more still. Oh, I may have to use solder braid on that. I may have to actually add solder. Well, let me add some solder here. Oh, it does help to turn on the soldering iron before trying to melt solder. All right, let me... All right. Yep, I will, but yeah, the 1080 I just ordered is for my computer upstairs. The card that's in it will come downstairs. Because the card I have upstairs is more than sufficient for encoding a live stream. And it will do, it's like I forget if it's the 1050 or the 1060, but either one will do H265 as well. And they're more than enough for encoding a live stream. So, because that's really all the video card in this computer does is encodes live streams. I don't come down to the basement to play games. Unless it's like the games of repairing computers. Because sometimes that does feel like a video game. Will it fix? Also, if you want a smoke absorber like the one I have, well, you can't because mine's a knockoff Hacko smoke absorber with an fan I found in the scrap bin in it that I don't know if you can still get the fan anymore. But yeah, it's an AC fan and it has quite the satisfying spool up sound. Oh yeah, I could have probably built one, but it was kind of the, well, I would have had to have 3D printed all the parts at work, which would have meant I would have had to have waited for 3D printers to be free, and so I bought the knockoff one because it was like available. But obviously, it got delisted from Amazon. Oh, good night, Trina. But no, but I'd found a AC fan in the scrap bin that was in like a 120 millimeter or 140, whatever size fan was in this smoke absorber. And it just happened to be the right size to actually fit the enclosure. So I spliced the wires in, and it's a much more powerful fan than what was in the smoke absorber. Probably because it's an actual AC fan designed for moving real amounts of air. And the reason why the fan got scrapped was because, well, it was an obsolete part. So, fortunately for my little upgrade project, I don't think it had had much runtime, so. But yeah, it definitely does a much better job at pulling the smoke towards the fan than the one that came in the knockoff smoke absorber. It might actually be more powerful than the genuine brand's smoke absorber. Oh, Kib says, my uncle got an old huge blower fan, and I mean huge. He used it as, used it, I'm presuming, in Arizona during summer. Oh, used it as AC during summer. Okay, well, that works too. Yeah, I think I know about the size fan you're probably talking about. I've seen them before. All right. The Yeah, I always forget to turn it on too, but I kind of got the slightest whiff of, even though I've cleaned this board, I still got a slight whiff of fish, so that might be because the solder on this jack is oxidized. I mean, it probably is. The ultrasonic cleaner will clean up the electrolyte that's on the board, but if any of it oxidized some of the solder, it's not going to get that out. There. Okay, I think I probably need to add some flux, and then maybe this will. Plus, I think this one lead here on the back of the board is on a ground plane. Which I think is why it's being so stubborn to desolder. Alright, let me see if I got the rest of the... I think I did get the rest of the connector. Maybe. Alright, let me... Hmm. Trying to look to see if I can find my low melt solder. It's on the bench somewhere. I think I need to... I think I need to try it. Oh, there it is. Alright. Alright, there we go. Yeah, huge ground pain. That's exactly right. Also, potentially very oxidized solder. So I don't... What I'm hoping the low melt solder did is kind of helped displace the oxidized solder, or not displace, but I guess mix with it to come up with a lower melting point metal alloy. I think that's basically how it works. go. Alright, there we go. Got the old jack out. We'll take a look at it momentarily. Let me clean up the solder pads. I'm not too worried about the board getting too hot in this area of the board. So if I don't get all of the low melt solder off, I'm not too worried. Yeah, given that this was the audio jack and there would have been these 3 former electrolytic capacitors just right there leaking, I'm not surprised that there would have been oxidized solder here. In fact, that could be why the audio jack didn't work. Oh, now... Now, let's see if the new one... Although in reality, this was pulled off of a parts board. It's not actually a new jack. As much as I tried, I couldn't figure out... I don't think you can order this part anymore. Alright. But the jack is in. Alright. It's new to this board. Alright. Well, fortunately your kitten didn't actually grab the real soldering iron, because then I would have felt bad. I mean, I also would have wondered how your cat got down to the basement so quick, but I would have felt bad. Wouldn't want to hurt the little kitty paws. trying to make sure the solder looks halfway decent. Guess I could zoom in there. Alright, I think it looks decent. Alright. Well, let's see if I have... There we go. Alright, let's clean this up and see if it looks good or if I'm going to be retouching it again. Well, I think it's soldered. Alright. Let's... Oh, well... I should have known I was going to do that the moment I tried to set the cup of isopropyl alcohol out of the way. I should have just... You know, I should have just poured it on the desk on camera, because then at least you all could have wondered why in the world I did that. But instead, no, I set it off camera and then promptly dump it over. Alright. There we go. Headphone jack is replaced. How about let's give that a moment for the alcohol to flash off, and I'll use my newest acquisition to help speed the process. Not quite as satisfying as Claris, the desoldering station, but... Well, sometimes you don't need heat, you just need air movement. Alright. Well, we got the sound jack. Good as new, hopefully. That's what we're about to find out. No one will ever know. Unless this didn't fix the problem and it only chimes when you got speakers plugged in, then, well, it'll be more obvious. Alright. So go ahead and... Let's go ahead and slide it into the case. Because it'll make things a little easier. And I'll go ahead and put the speaker in. Let's see here if I remember where it goes. I think it goes here. Alright. Yeah, I might be a bit premature on this step, but trying to be confident that I have the problem fixed. There we go. Speaker in place. And all right. Well, I'm not to put the the edge connector on the front of the board is, I believe, more or less the factory test connector. So it has all of the voltages on it. I believe there's also a couple of those traces that actually go to the serial port. Because I believe that it does, that under certain circumstances, it will actually print debug messages out the serial port. I think there's a way to cause the computer, the 2CI, to do that. Also, if it was probably plugged into the factory test harness, it probably would. Oh, hey, micro hobbyist. Ah, well, thanks for stopping by to say hi. Have a good night. Anyways, yeah, it's the test. Basically, I think the test harness connector. So yeah, I think there are actually a number of Macs that have a similar port on them. Especially, I think, of the 68K days. All right, so got memory. I know the memory's good. I put it back where it came from. Well, more or less. I mean, it's not necessarily in exact slots, but it's in the same banks. All right, I have a blue SCSI for the SCSI port. I have a video adapter. I don't know if it's the same video adapter that I was using, but, well, it's probably set to something reasonably valid, and if it doesn't work, it'll be hopefully fairly obvious. I don't think replacing the sound jack would... Well, hopefully, at least, replacing the sound jack didn't do anything detrimental to the rest of the computer. All right, now, power. I could grab the power supply out of my Performa 600, but they're kind of a pain to remove. So instead, I am going to use this ATX power supply adapter for the moment. Yep, I think some of the LCs have that as well. And I think in all the cases... Now, some of them, I don't know that the connectors have, like, serial on them. I know the 2CI one has serial on it because I think I saw it on the schematic. It may have another diagnostic interface connection instead. But I think on the 2CI it actually has a signals going back to the serial chips. Although, I could be mixing Macs up, so do realize that sometimes when I read cool things like that, I don't realize that I've mixed my Macs up. Alright. So I'm just going to use an ATX power supply, and I'm going to use this one here that I normally use for fun things like this. this is an open source adapter, and I forget right offhand who designed it, but if I think about it, I'll put a link somewhere for folks to check it out. If I forget and you're so inclined, you can leave me a comment to remind me to put a link. I think it's Rudolph. Oh, I can't ever remember his last name. I can see his name. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I definitely couldn't spell it right now, but I can like see it in my mind. I think he's of course if I look on the board, it's probably got the GitHub on it if I look closely enough. Alright, I'm trying to find the wonderful Apple keyboard that I have around here somewhere. Let's see, I've got PS2 keyboard and mouse. That's not going to help. Let's see. Apple design mouse. Somewhere I should have keyboard and mouse. Oh, I think I set it off to the side. In theory, I set it to the side to keep it out of harm's way. In reality, it's probably just under something that I didn't intend to set it under. I mean, it's an Apple design keyboard. Oh, here it is. Correction, it was beside something that. Alright. And I knocked things over that I didn't really want to knock over, but luckily. Good night, Will. Yeah, this is actually a pretty cool adapter, because you just use a standard ATX power supply, and it does the necessary conversion between the Apple soft power and the ATX soft power. Good night, micro hobbyist. Oh yeah, the 2CI is a cool machine. All right. So I think actually it's on. Because and I have no video signal. Okay, well that's the wrong. Alright, accidentally locked the power switch into place. Oh, one moment, please. Let me. See if I can't twist it to. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, it was just running a RAM test. Oh, that's right. This Mac, there's something silly about it. Oh, hey, Michael. 1-Bit Fever Dreams is here. Yeah, I do not know why this 2CI has no gray background when it's in monochrome mode. But because I'd pulled the battery, it's in monochrome mode. It's like the strangest thing. I don't think it's broken. Because the moment I come in here and fix it. Also, I've got a control panel that's changed the appearance, which is why I think things look really weird. All right, first let me set the time, because that might be another thing that could potentially break the internet. So it's 11, 9, 23, 2023. I have the extension that supports year 2000, so oops. All right, at least my clock's right. Now let me find monitors. Yes, 1-bit joined just in time to see 1-bits. But see, the thing is, the moment I go to even like 4-bit or 4 colors, 4 gray colors, I get the gray background. So I just think it's something weird with the 2CI ROM. I think it's working fine. There we go. Oh, except though, we didn't have a startup chime. Which tells me the problem is probably somewhere else. Huh. It wasn't the headphone switch on the headphone jack. Huh. Well, there's probably a. I bet there's probably a solder ball somewhere. All right, let me make sure we at least have sound if I plug speakers in. I'll probably have to. I'll have to look at this. Well, I guess we can all look at the schematics here momentarily and try to figure out where the solder bridge might be that would be fooling it to think there's speakers plugged in when there's not. That's at least the logical conclusion I come up with. All right. Okay. These are some Altec Lansing speakers. Never mind the actual brand on them. That's not That's not relevant. What is relevant is they are beige and would be a close match to the Smack. They would also be envious of Claris if the brand was envious of a Apple mascot. All right. All right, well, we got sound out of the speaker, or the external. No sound out of the internal. All right, well, let's at least restart. At least want to hear the chime. Okay. See, if you set it to 256 colors, you get the gray background on boot. But if you have it, if it's one black and white on boot, it's like a black background. I don't get it. So there we go. Well, that's about where we were. It at least still boots. We still have external sound. First for playback. Oh, okay. 1-bit saying too many screen colors. Yeah, sorry. I need to be able to read the screen, and for some reason, it's not readable in 1-bit color. All right. is there any chance at all, that I got speakers mixed up? All right. I was pretty sure that I put the bad VCF speaker in a box. Oh yeah, this is the bad one because the cone's broken. Okay, never mind. No, I did not get the speakers mixed up because that is obviously the bad speaker that's not in the computer. Okay. All right. Let's make sure soft power works. There we go. Soft power works. Turned off. Come on. Let me see. I guess I was being too optimistic. Let me check the speaker here. Okay. I think the cone is okay. See, the original speaker is a 32 ohm speaker. And now I'm going to have to find my backup multimeter probes. So, one moment, please. All right, well, there's parts of one of them. I gotta order new multimeter probes. That's the thing I forgot to order from Amazon. Oh, now one bit says, "Oh, Justin, I want to say I appreciate your streams. You're a trooper, and you create a regular space to geek out among retro friends." Oh, thank you. Oh, and thank you, Gut Bomb. I'm impressed by my variety of machines. Well, I try to keep it varietied. Also, I would like to thank Brandon Bishop for understanding that I might have been excited to buy yet another XT clone machine until I went on vacation, and the whole week, like, one of the things I was thinking of was, wait a minute, I already have 3. So, yeah. So, thanks, Brandon, for being understanding that my that even though it would have been really cool to have a Vindex, it's no different than some of the other XT clones I have. It just says Vindex on it. I'm sure someone else will give it a good home. All right. Before I continue, and assuming I'm actually logged into Amazon on this computer, I need to order something right now. Let's see here. Search orders. Multimeter. These them? Wait a minute. I supposedly ordered some July 12th. All right. Let's see here. Let me save that for later. Check out. I want those Monday. There we go. All right. All right. There we go. So, let's see here. I'm sure Amazon will find a way to make sure that I get those on Tuesday, as they would probably prefer, considering they defaulted me to delivery on Tuesday, and I picked delivery on Monday, and that was an order for another set of multimeter probes because I wore the set out I was using, and the wire was hanging on by a thread, which is probably why I was getting some weird multimeter readings up at the before I discovered that the lead was broken. Hopefully, I didn't like scrap anything as a result of the bad measurements. All right, I'm trying to find a. I know I've got another set of multimeter probes around here somewhere. So hold please. I'm trying to find them. I just ordered the set that I forgot to order after my stream Tuesday when I noticed that the lead was broken. Because I was going to measure the resistance of the speaker, but I do not see the other multimeter lead. Unfortunately, the one I found was the red one. That's the easy one to find. I'm looking for the black one now. It's blending in with all the other dark things on the bench. All right. Wait, that might be it. Hold please. I think I found a wire that feels like it's a multimeter lead wire. Because they have that kind of like flexibility to the wire. Here we go. Well, it's not the lead I was looking for, but it is a lead. All right, let me find its mate. Because that's actually this. It's actually the lead set I was looking for. Let's see, its mate should be on the bench. I want to check the speaker before I go trying to hunt down where the solder bridge is on this board. Or I'm presuming it's a solder bridge. Fine. All right. I'll use one of each. That. All right. Common. Let's see. Where's the? All right. Now I got to figure out where I set the other multimeter lead down while I was looking for the other multimeter lead. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Let me connect the leads together and. All right. 0 ohms. So I guess I'll have to clip. Yeah, I found one clip lead and one standard probe. And it is a 32 ohm speaker, and I am reading 29.8 ohms. Okay. Well, that probably means the speaker is not the cause of the problem. So I guess I do need to look at the logic board. All right. All right, if anyone's wondering, did I actually check the old headphone jack? No. No, I just ordered a replacement because the eBay store that I found the replacement at had only one. And I didn't want to lose the chance to buy it while I waited to try to find the data sheet for the original switch to know which the switch contacts were. Alright, let me see if I can spot if there is a solder bridge, spot the solder bridge. Alright, first I'm just trying to see if it's an obvious solder bridge. Like maybe a solder ball under one of the sound chips or between the legs. No. Let's see. Suggest just checking for broken chases between the headphone jack and the pin header at the front of the board where the speaker connects. Alright. Well, that's a good suggestion, but I do need to know which pins on the headphone jack should be connected to that speaker jack. Although maybe first I should just make sure the speaker jack looks soldered. Alright. Let me get the case out of the way. Well, alright. The only problem is of the multimeter leads I have found, I have one that's a clip lead and one that's a probe, and the clip lead is very difficult to use for this operation. I will have another set of the probes that I like on Monday, hopefully. And I picked Monday to make sure I get them in time for Tuesday's stream. Alright. You would think that the clip style lead would be helpful, but only if the leads are long enough to actually clip onto. I don't know. I don't know where the rest of my set is to. Oh, you can't see that. I prefer the super pointy ones. That's what broke. Alright, well, let me see. Alright, let me see if I can find if there's any connection between oh. Oh, hold on. It helps to be in ohm in resistance mode. And let me switch it to the mode that'll beep. Alright, well that's 0.7 ohms there. That's 0.47 ohms. Okay, so I found 2 points on the speaker jack where... Alright, I'll take a look at that post in a moment. Alright, interestingly enough, so I do see a connection between the front panel speaker and the headphone jack, but it's not quite the three the pins I would have expected. All right. Oh, I think this was the post I had attempted to use to find a replacement jack, and I could not. Well, and I don't remember why I didn't go with the CUI devices jack, other than I probably didn't like the fact that it wasn't a good fit in the case. I couldn't find any of the. I could not find any of the Hoiziden or Hosiden or however you say their name. I couldn't find any of those. Well, I found the one on eBay that was a pull. Sorry, I'm reading this page. I can't. I don't see the chat. I'm sure someone's screaming at me something or other. Um. Oh, welcome, someone that just subscribed. All right. I'm trying to find the pin out of this switch. SJ3589. All right. So if a plug is not inserted, 1, 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to orient which pin is which. I'm gonna write this down. So, all right. If I'm reading this data sheet right, pin 1 is the one pin at the very edge of the board, and then pin 2 and 3 are the two pins behind it. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The annoying thing is, okay, reason why I created a drawing that you probably can't see. Well, is because the diagram in the data sheet that shows the way they are connected when you have something plugged in is looking at it from the top view, whereas I am looking at the switch from the bottom. If so, this switch should have these two pins connected right now because there's nothing plugged in, which is true. These two pins should not be connected. Okay. These two pins should be connected. All right. And these two pins should not. All right. That is good. Okay. So now, if I plug a headphone jack in, which means I'm going to have to find where the headphone jack on the speakers I was using went. So if I plug a headphone jack in, now there should not be a connection here. I should have a connection here. Actually, let me do it this way. Yep, okay. I should have a connection also here, but no longer this way. Okay, that looks good. All right. All right. So, pin one is the sleeve, which I think is ground. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. So, now, if I'm reading the switch diagram correctly, pins 5 and 8, which would be the two center switch pins, should probably be the common pins. All right. All right. So I found the speaker, the front panel speaker's common connection. So the other, all right, I think I found the incorrect connection. There appears to be a potential connection between pin 9 on the headphone jack and ground. I do not believe that, well, I'm not sure if that connection should be there. Let me reference the schematics. All right. All right, there we go. There's the Bowmark schematics. All right, so let me see if I can find the headphone jack. Let's see here. Oh, sorry, I was. Let's see. Thomas says I remember some Apples used a spring loop around the mic and speaker jack to get a ground. No, I don't think this one does it. All right. A and B. Oh, okay. Well, Jack, tell me if the ground of the speaker terminal in the front, which is going to be the one on this side of the board, connects to what you've called pin F, because I have a connection there to which also is connected to ground or the sleeve of the headphone jack. I think I got a potential stray connection. Something seems backwards on this board. Because if the ground was connected to the headphone jack to be switched, I would expect it would be on what Jack was calling D, not F. But yet it seems to be on F, which I suspect is why the board might think headphones are plugged in, because the ground may be going to the wrong place. And if that is the sound schematic, then I cannot decipher. Oh, Apple, what are you doing to me? One. Well, I just found the sound part of the schematic. Oh, the way they've drawn this, the way Beaumark drew this on the schematic, it is like baffling. Oh, wait a minute. No, it looks like the according to the Beaumark schematic. Oh, I see why. Because the speaker is J23 and the headphone is J3. I didn't realize that whoever designed this board did something clever with the numbering. Okay, so according to the schematic, the speaker, pin 2 of the speaker is always connected to ground. It is not switched. According to the schematic, the switch cuts off sound to the front speaker when you plug in the rear sound. The speaker is also connected to the left channel of sound. Through pin 11 of UB2. It goes through a capacitor and R10. It goes through C2 and R10. All right. C2 is one of the capacitors that got replaced. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. So, I believe on the 2CI, according to the schematic, it actually sends sound to the headphone jack always. Now, of course, the question will be, do I have stereo sound? Because it's possible that might be the problem. Maybe I have no left channel of sound. Alright, let's see here. UB2, 1011 is... Alright. Luckily, it's this one here on the end. It'll make it easy to check. I have to... So it should be connected to one side of C2. Thought it would be connected to the positive side of C2. Trying not to get frustrated with my lack of proper multimeter probes tonight. Ooh, I think I found a problem. All right. Okay. All right. There appears to be a break somewhere between this via and C2. So let's see here. C2. The other side of C2 should be connected to one of the sides of the headphone through R4. Oh no, it's R10, which is on the bottom side of the board. So okay. So the headphone is connected to R10. Trying to figure out which of the vias. All right, it's probably this via here. So let me just do this. Do this. All right. I know where the trace break has to be. All right. Trace break or problem with the solder or something. All right. Sorry, I've been staring at the schematic. Okay. I was using the I was using the Beaumark schematics, and I was using that, not the actual data sheet for the headphone jack, because it was harder to read. I was using the CU data sheet. Alright. So that via right Hold, please. While I try to find a pointing device. Everything grows legs on my workbench when I look for it. Trying to find a spudger. Fine, I'll use a screwdriver. So this via here to the sound chip has a connection. There should be then a connection between this via and the positive terminal on this cantaloupe capacitor, and there is not. I am also noticing that it does appear as if there's something weird there on the board. So I believe, well, at the very least, I'm just going to desolder that one pad and see what I see. Quite possible I will then remove the other side of the capacitor, depending on what I see. But I believe the problem is that I should have probably checked this before ordering a headphone jack. Yeah, that board kind of looks a bit weird there under magnification. Alright. Let's see. Oh, did I do a trace repair in this area? Alright, let me go ahead and just remove this. Okay. Oh, there's my tweezers. Yeah, now I have a spare jack, I guess. Okay. Well, pretty sure I put that capacitor on, right? Alright, well, let's see here. Alright, let me clean this up. I can clearly see. I wonder if the trace brake is under the silk screen. Alright. I don't see an obvious trace brake, but yeah, there's a trace brake there. Maybe right where the trace and the pad meet? Maybe, but there is definitely a brake there. Alright, how far down can I get this to go? And focus. There's a little itty bitty bit of exposed copper right there, it seems like. So that pad works. That pad... I would have probably never seen that. It's like the worst spot for a trace break, but I think I see it. I think the trace is broken. Right? I mean, right where that trace meets the pad. Do I have a continuity with that? Okay. That's a good question. All right. Yeah. Jack is asking if I have continuity with that small patch of copper. All right. Let me. All right. I find the pad again with the microscope. All right. I think. All right. I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to measure that because unfortunately, that I would need my really sharp probe to really stick it. But unfortunately, I can't find the other. All right, so I want to use the clip lead on the pad. No, I don't seem to have continuity there. All right, I think I'm going to have to very carefully. Very carefully Dremel that. I think I'm going to have to do it. All right. All right. Well, hopefully I don't lose the capacitor in this process. Okay, I'm hoping that is just dust on that pad. I'm hoping I didn't actually lose the pad. Although, it's fixable if I did. Because there's plenty of room to work there. Alright. Alright. So I took the... looks like I got that... Must also be... Oh, wait. Can't hear the Dremel at all. Oh, that was weird. I take it you can hear me? I do promise you I was dremeling. Actually, I think now that I dremeled, I think I got right up to the... Yeah, how will I ever know? Sure enough, right there is, I mean, that is the break. Right there. Wow, that is like... Oh, that is such a tiny break. Oh, you can hear the Dremel if I'm talking at the same time. Oh, that's probably my OBS filter. Alright, now, Joe can do really, really fancy work with the enameled wire, and I'm just hoping if I do put an enameled wire there, it will... You know, I'm wondering if I can just scoot the track. Yeah. The game of inches. Yeah, no. Maybe I can... Let me see if I can maybe fix it without enameled wire. Because it's like so close. It's actually so close, I'm wondering if I can just solder blob it. Alright. Or maybe I can get it... Alright, let's see if I can... Actually, if I put this like just right... Oh, moved it too far. Like right there. Then the solder will have to... There we go. I think that will make the solder do exactly what I want it to do. Famous last words. I'm going to... I'm going to do that first. Get it tacked on that side. And make sure I... Alright. There's that. I'm going to let me fix my solder pads just a little bit. I want to make sure... I want to make sure that we got a good connection here. the wrong capacitor. Right. Alright, I'm pretty sure. Alright, that one is. Oh, yeah, that's still soldered. Alright. That pad should be good. That pad should be good, and I'm pretty sure that I should have continuity now. Because I think I got the pad over far enough. Alright. I will have to put a little UV cure solder mask on that trace. Actually, you know what I should probably do? Since the trace might be a little bit thin, and then I'll probably still put a little UV cure solder mask on it just to protect from accidental potential shorts. But I'm going to pin the trace. All right. Now, yeah, I think that should work. All right, I am not kicking myself for missing that one because that break was so tiny, and it was like obscured by the solder mask. I'm not gonna kick myself for that one. All right, we got continuity now. I will gladly take a slightly crooked capacitor that's a little harder to tell it's crooked because I removed 25% of the solder mask around it. But I will take a slightly crooked capacitor over potentially really botching a bodge. Alright, I don't think I need to UV solder mask that because I pinned the trace, and that's really not a spot of the board where I'm too afraid of. Yep, not too afraid of like shorting anything against that accidentally, because it's not like I should be not in an area of the board where I think I'd be at risk of dropping something in it while powered up. So I think I'll just go with the tinned trace. All right, hopefully that's the only problem. Yeah, I mean, I did. All right. Okay. I don't know that. Well, all right. I thought I might be able to recap a power supply, but well, that's not looking very promising that I'll have time to do that. All right. Power supply. All right. Got the power supply in. Um. Monitor. Oh, that's why I was putting the speaker in. That's what really holds the board in. There we go. There we go. All right. Speakers in. Power's on. Our power supply connector's on. Blue SCSI is in. Video is in. Nothing's in the headphone jack connector. Oh, keyboard is. Oh, where did I put the keyboard? Oh, keyboard was like sitting right in front of me. All right. All right. ADB's in. All right. Let me turn power on to the power supply. And all right. And apparently oh yeah, rotated the switch so it was in the auto power on position again. How convenient. Guess this. All right. Okay, I have 65 megabytes of memory in here. It will take a moment to run the memory test. Well, Jack 68K, yeah, recapping a power supply doesn't take long. Except for the power supplies that go to the 2CI are just painful to disassemble. There we go. Yeah, the recapping itself doesn't take long. It's the disassembly and reassembly that's the real culprit. And chatting in the chat. Yeah, if I just went and recapped the power supply, I could probably do it in like under an hour. Now someone's gonna say, yeah, do it on a video where you just recap it to show us you could do it in an hour. Yeah. I'll put that at the end of my video list. All right. All right, I do not have the speakers plugged into the back. We did hear a chime though, so I think we should be. Yay! All right, now let me make sure that the headphone jack still works. Oh, helps to turn on the speakers. All right, so if I unplug the connection between the speakers. Oh, we still have that. All right, well, I guess we have stereo sound. All right, well, I heard sound out of the one speaker. Steve, when you need him to show that, oh, also, it does help to, see, I'm even wearing the right hoodie. Oh, cooperate with me, see? All right, I got sound. So, if you got a 2CI and you have no sound out of the internal speaker, but you have sound out of the headphone jack, make sure you don't have like a little tiny trace break right there at that capacitor C2. Hidden by the solder mask. I mean, it was right there at the pad. The solder mask, I think, was pretty much covering the trace break. I know it's not even midnight for me, but yeah, I know. I want to go too late. Does this mean I have a fully working 2CI logic board now? Yes. Yes, it does. I'm going to have to get a cache card for it. But it does mean I have a fully working 2CI logic board for it. All right. Okay. So I don't think I've got time to recap the power supply. However, there is something else I do need to do. I think I may have time to do it. I more likely have time to finish it in a reasonable amount of time than the power supply. Just because disassembly and reassembly time. All right. So let me set the logic board to the side. Or just actually the whole case, because I don't need to remove the logic board for this. All right, but. So I got this 2CI last year. Oh, there's the programmer and interrupt switch. I'll have to put that. I can go ahead and put that in because. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the case so I don't lose it. There we go. That doesn't look great. Oh, all right. It is very difficult to put the programmer and interrupt switches in when the case is like below you. There we go. All right, got the programmer and interrupt switches in. Oh, wrong side of the case. There we go. All right. There's the screw that holds the drive cage down. That's some other screw that probably goes to this. Let's see here. Does look like floppy drive should just slide out. I think. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Oh. All right. There we go. The one thing I haven't looked at yet that I have time for. This is the original floppy drive that was in this 2CI. As opposed to power supply, I'm going to recap, which is actually one that I got on eBay as a spare. All right. That's. Hold please while I find the right screwdriver. Is that a Phillips 2? No. Phillips. Oh, that might actually be a Phillips 2. That was a Phillips 3. All right. Hold please. All right. My good screwdriver set is upstairs because I had to replace my video doorbell. All right. I thought I had a. You know, I sure thought this was the right Phillips screwdriver. But it's not. Okay. This is a. I don't know what that is. All right. Let me see if I can find the. right bit real quick. All right. Gateway speakers need to move. Maybe this is the right bit. No. Nope, that's not it. Also possible these screws are... There we go. All right. Got it. All right. Let's see. I think I tried to test this floppy drive and it didn't want to work, which leads me to believe the heads are dirty and it needed lubricated. I'm pretty sure the gear is Swiss cheese. All common Sony high-density drive problems. You're going to restore a Macintosh Iici and put the original floppy drive back in. It's pretty much a guarantee that you'll be cleaning and lubricating the floppy drive. Oh. What's not a guarantee is that you'll find spiders in said floppy drive. Ew, gross. Well, that tells me all I need to know about where the computer was probably stored. All right. Wonder if I can tell what kind of spider it was. It probably doesn't actually matter, spider. Oh. All right. At least it's a dead spider. I'm going to just put it in the trash. Actually, given the number of cobwebs I see in this floppy drive, that might actually be why it didn't want to work. Right. Now, smoke absorbers with upgraded fans also make great dust catchers. Thomas Armstrong says Australia spiders. Yeah, probably not an Australia spider. All right. So overall, I don't think it looks uncleanable, although there's certainly cobwebs in it. All right, let's see if I can't get this apart. Let's see here. Let me see if I can't trip it closed. Yeah, it's pretty gunked up. I might have to actually lubricate it. Let's see here. Might have to lubricate it to get it to even. That. Lovely. That. And then. Oh, good night, Dave. All right. Well, I'll just Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, no, that disk is probably toast. All right. Let me see here. I think I can do that. And yeah, this drive is so gummed up. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There. Took me a moment to get it to inject. All right. Let me remove that plastic piece there. That'll unload the heads. All right. Now, let me unclip these two springs. There's one on each side. There's one, two, and now leave. Should be able to get the assembly out. Oh, that's right. Let's see, gotta slide that forward or back. There we go. Oh, lovely. There's a dead stink bug in there. I suspect that stink bug was probably really causing lots of problems. Well, Mr. Stink Bug, go away. Don't come back. Yeah, I got bummed. I got the speaker working, and then I decided to try my hand at cleaning and lubricating the original floppy drive, and so far a dead spider's fallen out of it, and there was a dead stink bug in it. I think the 2CI I bought lived in a barn at one point. Or a basement or a shed or somewhere damp and full of bugs. Alright, so I got the gear assembly out, and I've got a... I did not squish that bug, Thomas. I just simply knocked it into the trash can because it's dead. I know better than to squish a stink bug. Trying to get the little rubber pieces up. Prefer to use plastic tweezers, but these are non-serrated. I just didn't really want to come up with... Couldn't get a grip on them with plastic. This should still be pretty smooth. Alright. Yeah, that... The metal pieces are going to get a good clean... In fact, I'm probably going to put them in the ultrasonic... Actually, I am... Strike the word probably. I'm going to put them through the ultrasonic cleaner. You just have to then make sure you dry them really good and thoroughly lubricate them. But that's fine. Note, that is just the metal parts that are removable. However, I am going to have to isopropyl clean some of these other parts because there's gunk. This floppy drive might be so bad, I might just recap it too. Because if the caps... I think I've got a cap kit for these floppy drives. Actually, I'll probably use cotton swabs there because they'll hold up a little better. All right. Let me try to get the gear assembly open. That's the most interesting part. So any theories as to will the gear be broken? Well, probably. Will there be a bug in here? Well. Oh, Bianca, Gutbomb says Bianca encountered a stink bug a couple years ago and screamed like there was a man with a chainsaw. Well, you can tell Bianca that I don't like stink bugs either. I really don't like them. Quite honestly, some stink bugs just seem like they want to get all up in your business. You're just having a peaceful time outside, and they just like fly up at you like they own the outdoors. Okay, well, at least the gear assembly doesn't look too bad. Alright, we'll remove this gear. And then we'll see the green goo there. And I will try to remove this gear. Huh. Well, it removed in one piece. It appears to have all its teeth, but this gear? Oh yeah. It's oh, actually it's in pretty good shape. I thought it would just crumble when I tried to bend it, but actually it's not quite the Swiss cheese yet, but I'm not going to fall for its tricks. I'm still going to replace it. I'll hold on to that gear for something else. If I've got a drive where maybe I don't necessarily need it long term, or like I need to get one working and I'm out of gears. Although in this case I have gears, so I'm not out at the moment. I'll hold on to that gear since it isn't broken yet, just in case I'm like realize that I'm out of gears and yet I have a drive with a broken gear. That would at least get me through until I could get some more. Yeah, somehow it hasn't self-destructed yet. Well, maybe it was afraid of the stink bug that got in the drive. It didn't want to risk the stink bug letting it stink out. Because I certainly wouldn't. Trying to get the green. I sprayed a little contact cleaner in here just to try to get the green. There's like a blob of old green lubricant, like right. There we go. Having trouble getting it out. Now it's out. So now I'll let the alcohol dry. I'll clean this gear off too, because I'm going to completely relubricate it with machine oil. All right. Well, all that dries. Let me see if I can't find the replacement gears. I have one left here. I use the Mac Effects ones. Because if I'm going to go through the trouble of fixing these, I'd prefer to just fix it once. All right. So there we go. Got a new Mac Effects gear in place. This is kind of one of those places that I'm not convinced 3D printing is strong enough. Maybe it is, but all right. So I'm going to apply some machine oil. And then I'm going to work it in. There's that. And then put this gear back into place. All right. Resin printed gears are strong. Okay. Yeah, these are the injection molded ones. I guess maybe my other thing about the resin gears is the resolution of the teeth. I'm not. It's not the. My strength concerns aren't the resin. It's more of the resolution. Right there we go. I think that's at least one lubricated and working. Should be working. All right. So that I remember. I'll put a green check mark on it. Maybe I will date. New Mac Effects gear. I know it just turned midnight, but unfortunately, I put the gear in before it turned midnight, so it doesn't get an extra day. There we go. That at least I'll have a note on the bottom of when I worked on it, but a green check mark on the top, so that if I take the drive out, I'll see that yep, I did service it. So at least that should be good. Now as for the rest of this floppy assembly, it's well, I'm going to put the metal pieces in the ultrasonic cleaner just because they're extra gunky. Which means I won't be able to finish this tonight because I'll have to make sure they're really good and dry before I can do anything with them. I thought I would at least. I'm also trying to find my thing of cotton swabs. Because these foam things will disintegrate too quickly trying to clean this. I guess the shop towels not too bad. These are at least the good blue shop towels. Yeah, I could really. Let me at least clean the drive heads with foam swab. I'm just lifting gently. All right. Also, all right. Good night, Gut Bomb. Yeah, I'll probably wrap the stream up here in just a few minutes, and I'll probably finish this floppy drive on Dave's stream. Who knows? Maybe I can convince Garth that he needs to work on some floppy drives too, so I'll have someone to commiserate with. All right. All right. I think those heads are probably clean now. Just wanted to make sure, because the first swipe at the heads, I removed spider web. So then I immediately got a new swab and clean them, and then I decided to take another pass with another clean swab just to make sure that they were clean. I'm trying to at least get some isopropyl alcohol on the old lubricant. Probably what I'm going to end up doing is kind of trying to leave this a bit on the wet side to give the maximum amount of time to loosen the dirt and grime. I'll probably have to take another swipe at cleaning it. Won't get it perfect because I know that there does appear to be a little bit of corrosion on the metal pieces, but at least I can get it to the point where I can re-lubricate it and it should move smoothly. And then the question will be whether and the dry, if it, it should still work. Kind of clean the dirt out of there. Probably put some contact cleaner in the switches. I guess I could probably at least get the old lubricant off of here. Re-lubricate that. And off the rails. Re-lubricate that. All right. Oh, Gupum's got it one to clean as well on Sunday. Cool. Well, then that's probably when I'll pick up on the floppy drive. I think I've done enough of them on my channel that if I finish this on Dave's, it'll be good. That'll give me a chance to put the metal pieces through the ultrasonic cleaner and then make sure they're really good and dry, because that's the important thing. But all the dried gunk and other debris to give me a chance to find where my cotton swabs went to do a little more cleaning here. It does look like, though, this drive should clean up and lubricate, and it'll probably work. And then I'll have that oh-so-satisfying noise of Macintosh auto-inject floppy drive. All right. Well, that's probably as good a place as any to end the stream with a floppy drive at the point where I can put it through the ultrasonic cleaner. So let's see here. So got the audio working on the 2CI. It was a broken trace, not the headphone jack, but that just means I have a spare headphone jack, even if I did melt one of the little plastic standoffs on the bottom. It should work. But yeah, I will definitely put this in my spare parts where I remember this is what this is, because it's probably fun. And yep, got the floppy drive apart, found a dead spider and a dead stink bug in it. Ew. Found that the gear somehow hadn't quite turned to Swiss cheese yet, but have it apart so that I can get the metal parts. Oh, I guess the one thing I could do, though, I could go ahead and put the well, I guess I will at least go ahead and put the auto inject assembly back on, just so that I don't misplace its screws or something. All right, I can at least... There we go. At least do that. All right. There we go. Now I think I got it to the point where it'll hold for an ultrasonic cleaning of the metal parts. There we go. At least I won't misplace those 2 screws at least. All right. Yep, I will put these through the ultrasonic cleaner probably Saturday. And that way they'll be ready for putting this floppy drive back together on Dave's stream. But yeah, overall successful. Still will have the power supply here to recap. Which I don't know. I may do it on a stream next week. Because I have another Mac item that needs recapped. So, might try a MacWork stream next week. That sounds like fun. Anyway, yep. Got this power supply for putting in the case. I'll probably put a new Noctua fan in it. Because that fan kind of looks dusty. And the fans in those power supplies were kind of loud. But yeah. And then I've got a Blue SCSI V2 to put in here. And I should already have one built, so it's just a matter of finding where I put it in a bracket and installing it. But yeah, this 2CI will be hopefully up and running before the 25th anniversary of my domain name, because I have more than a month to go. So yay. So anyways, yeah, glad everyone could join me for this stream. Even though I did schedule it at the last minute, but Trina's stream wrapped up sooner than she thought, so I was able to squeeze in. Thank you to everyone that gave coffee tips. That'll help me get the HP Z440 nicely equipped. I should have the memory fan tomorrow if UPS isn't lying, so might actually get some time this weekend to continue to set it up. And I'll because if I get to the point where I can set it up with Windows, I'll pull the video card out of my computer upstairs. I can put the video card that's in that one in the one upstairs temporarily, because it's a decent enough card, but it's not a 10 series. But that's fine. I don't do H.265 compression upstairs just yet. So anyways, but yeah, so maybe this weekend I'll be able to get that set up as well. And who knows, maybe that means Tuesday I'll be streaming from the Z440. That would be really cool. Anyways, have a great rest of your day. Hope to see you next time. Take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.